Have you ever felt that persistent tug, a deep sense of not quite fitting into the conventional world? Maybe a relentless, unshakable curiosity about the bigger picture, pushing you beyond what's typically taught or accepted.
It's a really common human feeling, I think.
Well, today we're taking a deep dive into precisely that kind of personal journey. This deep dive is a fascinating exploration of one individual's decades-long quest for answers, and it was all sparked by some pretty profound personal questions. Our material for today comes from these compelling excerpts from a YouTube video transcript by Rafael Hungria titled "10 a minha jornada em busca da verdade," which translates to "My Journey in Search of Truth."
Right, and our mission today is really to unpack Raphael's extraordinary narrative. We'll be looking at, the pivotal moments, the big intellectual shifts, and the ultimate insights he gained from a life pretty much dedicated to seeking deeper meaning and understanding.
Yeah, how he moved from that early disillusionment, feeling disconnected, to forging this really unique synthesis of knowledge. It's quite a story.
It really is.
So let's begin, at the beginning. From a very young age, Rafael Hungria felt this persistent questioning of conventional explanations.
Yeah, he talks about that quite clearly.
And it wasn't just about, say, family or social norms. It actually extended to educational systems and even his Catholic religious upbringing. He describes it almost like an innate symptom that was with him from childhood. Just this profound inability to conform or adapt.
That's a great observation. It wasn't just like typical childhood curiosity. Raphael describes it as a deep internal resistance, almost visceral.
Yeah.
Then as he got older, traumatic life experiences, those moments that really shake you emotionally and force you to mature, they pushed him into even deeper reflection.
The big questions.
Exactly. He started wrestling with the really big existential questions. Why are we here? Where do we come from? Where are we going? He even started challenging religious concepts like hell. He genuinely felt this profound disconnect from other people who seemed, content with the usual stuff, security, work, family, money. His concern was just different, finding a greater meaning.
And what's particularly striking about this early phase, I think, is where his quest initially took him. Instead of looking inward first, he looked outwards. Straight up at the stars, actually, questioning if humanity was truly alone or if this world was all there was.
Right.
This led him down a path into ufology, seeking proof of extraterrestrials and flying saucers.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? The driving force seemed to be this strong belief that maybe science, schools, the media, governments, that they might be actively hiding a greater truth.
Looking for external validation.
Precisely. What Raphael's experience at this stage shows is a common initial step in these kinds of quests, that desire for external, tangible validation. He wanted concrete proof, something definitive from outside himself.
Something he could point to.
Exactly. And interestingly, during this whole ufology phase, he mentions having no personal experiences, no, concrete evidence to back it up. It was purely theoretical, based on what he believed must be out there.
Right, like trying to solve a puzzle by looking at someone else's answer sheet. Almost.
Kinda, yeah.
But then his journey takes this really critical turn. He talks about a significant moment when he was 17 after his first big romantic relationship crisis.
Ah, yes.
And this emotional upheaval wasn't a setback. It was actually a catalyst.
Exactly right. This emotional event sparked this really strong resolve in him. He committed deeply, unequivocally to finding answers. He describes it as a profound hunger for knowledge.
Like drawing a line in the sand.
Totally. It was like, okay, if there's a reason or a purpose here, I will find it. And that marks a real pivot, doesn't it? From seeking external proof to an internal resolve for understanding.
So driven by this intense hunger, you can just picture him walking into a large bookstore and practically clearing the shelves of the spirituality section. He bought every book he could find on spirituality, religions, esotericism, philosophy.
Just devoured them.
Yeah. For 3 years, he lived almost like a recluse, just immersing himself in these vast theoretical worlds. It wasn't just reading. It was like trying to fill that internal void with every perspective he could get his hands on.
That period was absolutely crucial, though. He was accumulating this incredibly broad base of information, building his intellectual toolkit, exploring all these diverse philosophies and traditions.
But just knowing stuff wasn't enough.
No, exactly. Merely accumulating theoretical knowledge wasn't cutting it for him. He started to feel this urgent, almost restless need to act, to make a difference, help people, contribute somehow.
Even if he wasn't sure how yet.
Right. That internal drive towards practical application was just undeniable at that point.
That's a huge shift from passive learning to this active desire to serve. And this led him to really explore some diverse paths quite deeply.
It did.
He dove into specific spiritual traditions. He explored Kardasism Spiritism, as it's also known, which focuses on moral evolution, communication with spirits. Then he got into theosophy, that esoteric philosophy drawing from various religions and sciences. He studied Helena Blavatsky, even joined the Theosophical Society for a bit.
And Rosicrucianism too, right? That mystical tradition.
Yeah, Rosicrucianism as well. He found these different currents, gave him a sense of coherence, maybe some conviction, and that in turn spurred him on to share what he was learning.
Which makes sense, but what's also fascinating is his approach to, his professional life during this time.
Oh yeah, the D-Shores.
Right. He briefly tried economics, then law, but ultimately dropped both.
But hang on, for someone wanting to help people, wouldn't law or economics seem like, well, a way to contribute, make a difference? What pushed him away, do you think?
That's a really good question, and I think his experience highlights something crucial. Conventional career paths, no matter how prestigious or how much they seem to offer a way to help, sometimes just can't fill that deep existential need if they aren't aligned with your core purpose.
A misalignment.
Exactly. For Raphael, there was this deep misalignment with his, let's call it, deeper quest. So he moved on to psychology, studied and practiced it for 5 years.
Which seems closer, maybe? Understanding the mind.
Closer, perhaps. It definitely offered valuable insights, but he didn't stick with it as a direct career path for long either. After psychology, his search became much more practical, hands-on.
Okay, so beyond theory, beyond formal professions, into direct experience, what did that look like?
Well, he started experiencing religions and spiritual practices directly. He actually visited monasteries, Buddhist temples, participated in Hindu and yoga groups, studying their practices firsthand.
Really immersing himself.
Totally. And he noticed this common thread running through them all, this search for union with the supreme, or maybe a return to a higher abode, some kind of ultimate connection.
And he didn't join any single one.
No. Despite seeing that shared goal, he couldn't fully affiliate himself. He chose instead to sort of extract what he found useful, like an investigator of knowledge, rather than becoming a committed follower of any one path.
That takes discipline. Okay, so this is where his journey takes a really introspective turn, isn't it? After all this external searching, books, groups, practices.
Yes, this is key. He realized something crucial. All of it, all that external stuff, was incomplete without self-knowledge.
And where do you think that came from? Not more books?
No, not books or rituals this time. He came to believe it came through direct life experience.
Ah, the messy stuff.
Exactly. Facing challenges in family, relationships, work, health. Those were the real classrooms, the true tests. He even identified what he called a personal hypocrisy in doing all this extensive external searching while kind of neglecting the internal reflection.
Facing himself.
Right. That introspection, confronting his own issues, his imperfections. That became the true and often the hardest work. Realizing the answers weren't just out there, but also very much in here.
Wow. That takes some serious courage to face your own hypocrisy, as you put it.
Immense courage, I'd say.
So how did he put that self-knowledge into practice then?
Well, parallel to this quest, and even while acknowledging his own stuff, he always kept trying to serve others and engage in self-improvement. And he started doing these solitary retreats.
Going off-grid.
Pretty much, to isolated places in the mountains of Brazil. These weren't holidays, though. He used these times to really confront internal issues, reevaluate relationships, refine his life's purpose.
Intense.
Very. These retreats were instrumental, he says, in helping him balance that pursuit of knowledge with practical day-to-day life in what he called the third dimension, basically, our concrete, material reality.
Finding that balance seems crucial, but this journey also led him towards what he calls the renunciation trap.
Ah, yes, a very common dilemma for seekers.
That powerful urge to just ditch material life entirely, right? Become a monk, withdraw from the world.
He felt that pull strongly. He almost did become a monk, even lived in a monastery for a time. He was really close.
What stopped him? Or what did he realize?
He ultimately understood it as a form of imbalance. He realized the true work, the real mission, isn't escaping the world, but being a conscious person within it, integrating the divine and the human.
So the real training ground is right here.
That's what he concluded. The real training happens here amidst life's challenges, not by running away from them. It's about becoming more whole, not less engaged with life.
Okay, so after leaving the monastery, coming back to the world, What happened next? Did he finally find, I don't know, the missing pieces?
It seems he did. For the first time, he found this group called Daquila Pesquisas, and this group really resonated with him deeply.
Why this one, after all the others?
Because it focused precisely on what he'd been seeking for so long, that integration and balance between the spiritual and the human aspects, and critically examining the scientific, the material, the concrete dimensions of life, too.
So not escaping the world, but understanding it more deeply, spiritually and scientifically.
Exactly. It wasn't about escaping to find spirituality, but integrating spiritual insights into daily life, relationships, work, decisions, becoming a conscious person within the world.
That must have felt like coming home, in a way, a powerful validation after, what, nearly 20 years of searching.
Absolutely. And it wasn't just theoretical agreement. Daquila apparently provided concrete validations, too.
Like what?
Well, the source implies things like shared observations of maybe unexplained phenomena, or perhaps just a cohesive framework that finally made sense of decades of disparate information he'd gathered. It provided answers and confirming experiences that really validated his long search.
That must have been huge.
Huge. But it also led to this profound realization, a deep sense of humility. He felt that much of what he'd previously learned was, in his view, distorted or manipulated. And that in truth, he actually knew very little compared to the greater reality he felt he was now glimpsing.
Wow. He thought he knew something, but then...
Realized he didn't even know, as he put it, 1%. It was humbling.
Humbling, yeah, but probably exhilarating, too, to feel you're finally onto something real.
Oh, definitely.
So what makes Tequila Pesquisas so unique, then? How does it stand apart from all those other groups and traditions he explored?
Well, what seems truly differentiating about Daquila Pesquisas is its approach. It apparently moves beyond purely mystical or religious frameworks towards what can be concretely proven or demonstrated.
Integrating science more directly.
Yes, seeking to integrate science, but also challenge established paradigms, presenting what they term a revolution of knowledge, to make the world better, not just theoretically, but in practice.
Okay, practice how? What does that look like?
It sounds like investigating things like ancient technologies, maybe exploring consciousness beyond conventional science, challenging established historical narratives, things like that, all with a practical goal of improving human life and understanding.
And not shying away from controversial topics.
Exactly. Their approach seems to explicitly reject information that traditional science might avoid, actively seeking out hidden realities, as they see it, to advance human understanding beyond just common sense or accepted norms.
What an incredible journey.
Yeah.
Wow. So
Yeah.
wrapping this up, what does Rafael Hungria's profound quest ultimately mean for you listening?
Well, Raphael's journey beautifully illustrates this whole arc, doesn't it? From that early persistent questioning
Yeah.
to seeking external proof in ufology, then internalizing the search through mountains of books and so many diverse spiritual practices.
And the self-knowledge realization.
Right, finding that crucial insight about self-knowledge through direct life experience, understanding the essential balance between spiritual and material life, and finally, finding a community that integrates all these aspects.
It really underscores that truth isn't always found in the usual places or just one doctrine, right?
Absolutely. It often requires this multifaceted approach, a real openness to experience, and crucially, a willingness to question even our deepest assumptions about ourselves and the world.
That courage to keep searching, keep evolving, even when the path isn't clear at all. It reminds us that truth is often a deeply personal integration of everything.
Well said.
So maybe a final thought for everyone listening. If genuine understanding, like Raphael sought, comes from integrating rigorous inquiry, diverse spiritual paths, and a deeply personal self-reflection, what hidden realities might you be overlooking in your own quest for knowledge and purpose?